Hey everyone, it's 604 Comics here. This is my review for Avengers number 3. So at the end of issue number 2, we were left with Captain America calling on more members of the Avengers team and assembling them all to create the super huge Avengers team that this series is being billed as. In this issue, we start off with Ex Nihilo. He's still on Mars. He's still got some members of the original Avengers team. They're captured, and what's happening is he's created a new perfect human, or what he sees as the perfect human, his new Adam, and he's being hatched. And when he's hatched, something's not quite right with him, but Ex Nihilo and his group, they don't know what. But before they can figure it out, Captain America returns back to Mars with backup, and they proceed to fight with Ex Nihilo's group and try to prevent the destruction of Earth by Aleph. There's a lot of Avengers in this issue. A lot of them I'm not too familiar with. Here you can see that Cap's called in reinforcements and the whole team's here. So I know there's Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, there's Wolverine, Captain Marvel, but there's some that I'm not too familiar with, so I'll probably learn more about them later on in future issues. But in this issue, it's a whole bunch of them coming to Mars, and they're just fighting with Ex Nihilo and their group. Eventually, what happens is there's this one member of the team, and she plays a pretty important role in this issue, but for the life of me, I don't know who that Avenger is. It is this one here, but she plays a really important role, and she blasts away Aleph and prevents the destruction of Earth. And because of that, Ex Nihilo is now no longer a threat to the Avengers team, and because he's no longer a threat, they decide to let him go, let him live on Mars, and let him make Mars a better planet. And that is the end of this issue and the end of this first story arc. So it was a lackluster ending, maybe because I don't know most of the cast, that I didn't really appreciate this issue as much, but I felt that it probably could have gone on a little bit longer, and we could have seen a little bit more in terms of that whole backup crew of Avengers coming in to rescue everyone on Mars. So maybe we'll see how that whole aspect of this series develops in future issues. I really like the art by Opeña, and I think that Jonathan Hickman did a decent job with the writing. Like I said, I wish it was a little bit longer, but at least it's not being drawn out to a point where it's so long that you just hope that it ends. I think it did a pretty good job introducing the cast of the core Avengers team and who is part of the extended network, and I'm expecting to see that in future issues. We're going to get more of that developing in this series. This issue, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. It wasn't great, but it hasn't been the worst comic that I've read this week. So if you're following this issue, this series, then check it out. It's the end of the first story arc, and that should give you a good 3-issue judgment of whether you want to continue with this series or not. Personally, I am going to continue with this, and I want to see what happens in the next story arc, whether it's going to be a really interesting story or whether it's going to be a middle-of-the-road story that I felt this first arc was. So that's my review for Avengers number 3. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching.